Hello, my loves. Welcome back to Chemistry with Kismet Tarot. I am Monica, the Kismet Chemist, and this is Lunar Living. In today's video, we are talking about both the new moon as well as the solar eclipse in Taurus. This is happening on April 30th of this year. That would be Saturday. Hopefully I'll be getting this video up Thursday or Friday of this week. And as I was poring over the charts for this new moon and the solar eclipse happens shortly after the new moon alignment occurs. As I was looking over it, something that stuck out to me was the octile or semi-square aspects. Those are considered minor aspects, but for me, the way that I work with astrology, and I do it very intuitively, I always have this pull towards the unseen portions of it. I attribute that to the fact that I have my sun and Mercury in retrograde and Mars and my all of those in my 12th house in Cancer. And because of all of that, I really see the unseen more often than not. And that has been such a huge focus for me. But as I was looking at this chart, these octiles, it's almost as if they popped out like a 3D kind of thing as I'm staring at the aspectarian. And octiles, to me, are those hidden lessons. It's a 45-degree angle, so it's halfway to becoming a square. So it's almost that squaring off tension that we've talked about before with, when two planets are in a square, they're like boxers in a ring. And they're testing each other's limits. Well, this is the kind of underlying, not testing the limits, but instead it's where can I slip past without having to hit that tension point. And in doing so, it causes inner tension. So these are very much the inner tension points, and they lead to these hidden lessons. So I'm actually going to flip this card over because I did channel a message to help understand that or help explain that. And it says, the deeper unseen energy of the cosmos are coming together to teach us lessons from within as they appear in tensions, trials, and or tests outside of ourselves. This is the why aspect the planetary guides ask us to recognize in our lives, so we may become ever more empowered in our lives. This is the same premise that esotericism and spiritual teachers say with as above, so below. You'll see that oftentimes hear that oftentimes with the Magician card, because the Magician card is literally standing there with one hand up and one hand down, and it is directly indicating as above, so below. And you recognize that what occurs in the spiritual realm will and is occurring in the material realm. And in that sense, we're looking at this as an as within, so without. This is a very right here, right now energy and aspect. So it is 100% what is going on within you and how that is appearing outside of you. So when you're looking outside of you, the best way that I can give an example of this is, and I was talking to my friends Jessie and Amanda, and if you guys are here, hi, love you guys. I was talking to my friends Jessie and Amanda, and we were talking about the energy of when you're living in a house and you suddenly are, I don't want to live here anymore. I want a new house. I don't like my house. things like that. You're putting out this energy of dissonance with the place that you're living. And I go through these phases myself when life gets stressful, when bills get high, when something is going wrong in the house, and I just think, well, maybe if my natural instinct is to run. So maybe if I pick up and move and go to someplace else, it'll get better. It doesn't ever get better, because what's happening is an outward manifestation of what's going on internally. So there's something internally that I don't feel at home with. And so I'm projecting it outward onto the house. Now, the last time that I did this, my sewer backed up. And I had to call a plumber and come in, and they had to snake my main sewer drain. And, TMI, gross. It was absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. But it was because I was not respecting and not appreciating the roof I have over my head. The home that I have built, the home that I have poured my energy into, I have now rejected the energy I've poured into it, which means that I am in a way, in a sense, rejecting my own energy, and I should be embracing it and loving it. And that is what the octile aspects are asking us to see. When we see this discord outside of ourselves, what is it within us that is creating it? And the more that you come to terms with the fact that there is the same premise as above, so below, as within, so without, then you naturally start focusing on the inner world first and foremost, when things in the outer world are in chaos. This octile energy, the eclipse, is bringing that octile energy out. So whereas I'm looking at this solar eclipse and the new moon, and I'm seeing it in Taurus, and Taurus is the ruler of the second house, and the second house is about our possessions. It's about finances. It's about money. It's about inheritance. But it's also deeply about our self-worth and our self-value, and how that internal aspect within us is reflected through our possessions and our finances and the money that we make and the money that we come into. It's also a house about our inherited gifts, our inherited blessings, our inherited psychic tendencies, our inherited spiritual gifts, our inherited ability to connect to spirit. And I am one who will always say we're all psychic. We all have the ability to connect to spirit, but the way in which we do it is unique to each one of us. I connect to spirit through writing, through channeling, through cards. Is that unique to me? Absolutely, because the way in which it occurs is different for me than it is for you, or for, say, Amanda from the Done Creative, or Jessica Alexandria from Bahati Life, or any of these other tarot readers. The way that I connect and I read is different from anybody else. The way that spirit speaks to me is unique to me, because it's a deep personal relationship. And this solar eclipse, this new moon, is bringing forth a lot of those energies out, so that we can see and really work more closely, more aligned, more harmoniously, more balanced with spirit and with ourselves. So in ancient times, the solar eclipses, they were feared. They were seen as warnings in the sky of, malefic moments to come, or occurring, or really terrifying, bad, negative. It was a warning. It was something scary. Scientifically, though, if we look astronomically instead of astrologically, but even astrologically, we can look at this. Astronomically speaking, the solar eclipse is an alignment of the sun, the moon, and the earth exactly in the sky. This is why with new moons, it's not always an eclipse. It has to be an alignment of the earth, the moon, and the sun. Exactly. Esoterically, though, this is the time when we're going to look to the cosmos. And of course, you know, it's a solar eclipse. Use eye protection. However, this solar eclipse isn't going to be seen anywhere in the world aside from Antarctica and the lower recesses of South America. It covers the lower half, but it doesn't, just because we can't physically see it with our eyes does not mean it's not going to impact us. That's an important part. It is 4 hours, 3 minutes, and 50 seconds long. It is a very long eclipse procession. So this energy is going to flood in for a while, and that leaves a lasting impact. So this is when we esoterically or spiritually look to the cosmos and we see the physical representation of an energetic alignment of the body, the soul, and the self for the duration of the eclipse, but also when we work with this energy for the duration of our lives. We choose in these moments to harness this energy to change, to transform, to adapt, to grow through these changes. This alignment that is occurring in Taurus, it makes for an ideal time to set intentions. Set intentions for cleansing, for purifying, for clearing out and amplifying all that is important in your life, your path, and your heart. It's also a great time to start working in collaboration or to deepen the collaboration that you have already with the heavens and the guides and spirit to create a very potent energy of banishment of anything, etheric cords, energies, people that just aren't right for you and have kind of been like the insect buzzing in your ear and you don't know how to handle that. This is the time to say, Spirit, I lovingly understand that this person has challenged me and this is how I have grown. And I thank this person for doing this, for engaging in these activities, even if they were hard, even if they hurt me. I am thankful, I am grateful for the lessons that I have learned through this situation, and I ask for them to be released permanently from my energy and any soul ties. My own personal truth on this is that when we're engaging in this banishment, it is absolutely best to do it with love. Do it with positive intentions. And I don't mean toxic positivity. I mean exactly what I just said. I am very grateful for the lessons that I have learned. Now, can this person please be removed from my energy? Can this person please move on from me and this time frame? Because I have moved on from this time frame and I am ready for the next set of lessons and energy and experiences. Be very grateful for the lessons that you've learned and really hold firm in the trust in the efficacy or in the effectiveness of you simply speaking these things out into the world. Because this solar eclipse, I was hearing double, triple, but when I looked it up, I was like, I know that's a sports terminology. It's a triple double, and a triple double is when one player, I think it's usually, excuse me, yawning again. See, this is seemingly what happens with high energy for me lately. But a triple double is when a player, and I believe, like I was going to say, I believe it's in basketball, has 3 stats in the double digits. So 3 stats over 10. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists, 10 steals. 3 of those, it's a triple double. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's something along those lines. But this is a triple double moon. This is the 3rd black moon of the spring, of the first 4 months of the year. This is our 3rd black moon, which means that we are now at that triplicate maiden, mother, and crone status. This moon is the crone. This is the wisdom moon for us. This is the wisdom black moon. So we can set the intention for deeper wisdom, deeper understanding, deeper awareness. It's also a new moon and a solar eclipse. So we have the doubled up energy, which amplifies our intentions. It amplifies what we do and what we speak into existence. Now, one of the things that, and this is the arcana of astrology that the solar eclipse card actually talks about, is its actual like key word for this card is worn, but it's the understanding that a solar eclipse is much like a new moon, but it's amplified. So any intentions that you set during a solar eclipse is amplified. You think about in spirituality and in witchcraft, there's the 3x3 rule. Anything that you do will be amplified by 3 and come back to you. There's the 10x10 rule. Anything that you do and send out into the world will be amplified by 10 and sent back to you. It depends on who you are. But in this case, the 3x3 rule is what we want to look at, because that's what it feels strongly. And especially with this being the 3rd black moon. Again, that's for Central Standard Time and over towards the Pacific side of the country and the world. This 3rd black moon, we've had so many shakeups, so many false starts, so many new beginnings, so many intention moments where we have been able to set intentions. And sometimes we're doing it without our awareness. I was literally talking to my husband about that last night. I had every year since I turned, the past 2 years essentially, I have made a goal list. What I want to accomplish in my year, whatever I'm on. So last year it was, what do I want to accomplish in my year 34? In June, it will shift to year 35. But my year 33, that goal list that I made became the most prominent thing in my life, because on that I wrote, I want to write a book. And in my year 33, I wrote 2 books and published 2 books. In the calendar year of June to June, which we haven't reached June of 2022, I've published 3 books. These are my way of making petitions with the universe, but I had to do work to bring these things into being. The universe guided me, led me through, helped teach me the things that I needed to know, brought me to the different communities and the different people that I needed to know and needed to learn lessons from in order to speak about them and write about them. All of these things happened. But the thing is all I did was write a goal list shortly after the eclipse season, or in the midst of the eclipse season. This eclipse, especially with the third black moon occurring, and for everybody else, it's the black moon of the spring. It is a black moon of the spring. This is the time to amplify those intentions. This is hugely divine feminine energy. Hugely divine feminine energy. And we need to really, really dig within ourselves. And I say we need to because it's what I feel strongly. But we need to dig within ourselves and really let these lessons come out. So I'm going to tell you what the octiles are, the main octiles. There are multiple ones. You can go to astro-seek.com and look up the charts for yourself if you would like. Astro-seek is what I prefer to use. Some people use astro.com. Some people just have their own programs, but Astro-seek is so user-friendly, and I have been using it for the past couple of years that it is so ingrained in me to be able to navigate the site. So that's just it's a personal plug. I'm not affiliated, I promise. Okay, so the octiles that we're working with. We're going to start with the sun and the moon, obviously, because it is the new moon, which means the sun and the moon are aligned, but they're also aligned with Earth. So any of these, the Earth is also making these aspects in the charts. So we've got the sun and the moon making... Oh, see? Yawn again. I apologize. Forming octile energy with Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune. Now, Venus, Jupiter, and Neptune are all together, and they're all in the sign of Pisces. Pisces rules the 12th house, so we're looking at a 12th to 2nd house. This is our personal values, our psychic gifts, and our expansion and philosophy. Our luck, our benevolence, who we are, what we believe in, what we're capable of, and where our fears and our shadows lie in the depths. What we value, that we don't want to acknowledge, and what we should value, even if they are the same thing. It's all about this massive alignment of valuing the things and the gifts and the imagination and the dreams that we have, and allowing those to be expanded. And we are learning that those things within us are being amplified right now as our mind, our body, and our soul align perfectly. So we've got this alignment on both sides, and it is the octile energy is highlighting what is within. And that is where you're going to find it, is in that 12th house, that Piscean energy, the Venus, the Jupiter, and the Neptune alignment. All of those together are really truly flowing in a beautiful way. This is trying to help us to not have to do that square off energy the way that we would normally do. We don't have to fight for our values. We don't have to fight for our gifts. We don't have to fight for expansion and for luck and for abundance. It is within us. And this energy, this eclipse, this new moon, this black moon is really saying, now we can see it. Because as within, so without. So now we can see it and harness it and integrate it, and it will be presented to us in the outside world. Anything that is considered a tension or a hard aspect can absolutely be seen in a different light. It can absolutely be seen as, let me harness this to bring it out into the world. I apologize, guys, for the yawning. This has been happening every time I've been channeling for the past, like, 2 weeks. I don't know what change it is, but if you hear me yawning, it is literally just the energy moving. All right. So the other major octile focus, again, we've got Venus and Jupiter. And so with just Venus and Jupiter together, those two are about our values, what we see as beauty, our own personal beauty, art, love, self-love, harmony, balance, but philosophy as well, and spirituality, and theories on life, and our knowledge, our wisdom, and how expansive we want to be. It's about how we see ourselves in it and our place in the world. I know that Jupiter rules the 9th house, which is both philosophy, but it's also travel and exploration and adventure. So how do we value our adventurous nature? How do we truly love ourselves and fuel the things that expand our awareness and our philosophies in life? And those two energies together are making octiles with Uranus. And Uranus is the shake-up planet. He is the origin planet. We go back to mythology with Uranus, and you have Uranus, and he is the father of the skies. He's the father of the planets and the stars and the sun and the moon, like the father of all. He's the father of the father, so he would be the father of the Titans in mythology. He would be, or the father of Zeus, something like that. But Uranus is asking us to see a different way of being. Dances to the beat of a different drum. That's what Uranus is. That's what Uranus is calling for us to do. And so we're having this tension with our uniqueness, our individuality, how we bring that out into the world. And that tension, that lesson, that why aspect is being made with the ruler of Taurus in the 2nd house. So Uranus is asking us to push back against common values, to find our own unique values and allow those to be expanded. Allow our view and our uniqueness to be harnessed, to be expanded, and to set the intention for that to be a focal point or a stronghold in our world, in our own personal lives. We also have Mercury making an octile with Chiron and Mars making an octile with Pluto. Those energies don't feel quite so much like they're overwhelming and overpowerful. However, it's the Mars and Pluto that really strikes me, because Mars is, of course, like Aries energy and the god of war, and he's seen as this quick fire energy, this kind of destructive energy who has some anger management issues. Is that always the case? I don't think so. My personal experience and opinion is no, but I do have Mars in Cancer in the 12th house. So I want to tell you, what I see Mars as is our passion, our drive, our ambition. Mars is the get up and go that we need to fight for the things that matter, to fight for what is right for each and every one of us, to really, truly harness what is the best for ourselves and our lives, and to go at it, no matter what we are doing in the world or how things appear, to go at it, because we are worthy and we are capable and we are meant to. And so when it forms an octile with Pluto, now we're looking at a traditional ruler and a modern ruler of Scorpio. Pluto is still in Capricorn, and Mars is in Pisces. So we have this lesson of the deeper inner self and how we come in and how we move with passion, how we move with this determination, this ambition, whether it's healthy, whether it's right, what is it that holds us back from doing that in order to bring it out into the world, bring it from the depths into the world through that Capricorn and Pluto energy and transit aspect. Pluto is about our transformation. It's about revolution. It's about change. It's about shaking things up to make sure that our foundation is firm and strong. It's about knowing when we need to change the energy, knowing when we need to disperse certain things, knowing when we need to let go, when we need to move forward, when we need to stop, when we need to go. Knowing all of those things and doing that without hesitation or limitation. That's what Pluto is bringing to us. Mars and Pluto making this octile energy is helping us see the why of the things that have held us back from living passionately. And helping us to transform that so that we can live our passions in the world. Okay. I knew that this energy section was going to be a lot longer than it generally tends to be. I actually expect that the elements are going to be longer than they generally tend to be, because we are looking at the new moon, the black new moon, and the solar eclipse. So we are looking at three different, or three aligned and energetically similar events that all pack a punch for us to learn and to grow through. So I want to say thank you guys for sticking with it. This energy, this moon is really potent. It's really powerful. Really spend some time with yourself. Really spend some time with spirit. You know, I watched Jessica Alexandria's video on Bahati Life about this moon. And whereas I see some of the same things that she does, we both channel very differently. We both intuit very differently. And the one thing that I will say is she asked everybody to make a promise, and I kept my promise. I spent some time with spirit. I genuinely had a very long conversation with spirit and my spirit guides, and it's 33:33 on my clock, guys. But I genuinely had these conversations, these times with spirit, and I plan to and will continue to do so over the course of the next week, because this is the time to speak into existence the things that we want, to write it into existence, to do whatever form of petitions or manifestations or intention setting that we do that is right for us. Most of the time for me, personally, I set intentions without realizing I'm setting intentions, and then it plays out. The universe responds to what the heart says. So if you're writing something and the heart is like, oh yeah, this is 100%, that's how the universe is going to respond. This energy is potent, it's powerful, it's impactful, it is change-worthy. And we are going to be going through it. Again, that Bahati Life video said it all, but I've looked at the charts myself, and it's almost laughable to me for people to hear people say, well, Pluto's going to be leaving Capricorn in 2025. Like, right, but then Pluto moves into Aquarius, which is literally collective energy, and it's transformative, and it's revolutionary. And so we're going to be in this. We're going to be in all of this energy. There is all of this energy to harness. There is all of this energy that is going to test us, that is going to try us, that is going to work us to the bone for our own personal growth. When I say work us to the bone, it isn't going to be like working until we drop in the world. It is work us to the bone within ourselves until we see the truth of who we are, until we see our own divine essence and the divine essence essences of everyone else. This energy is going to continue to challenge us. That is why I do what I do. Because if we know it's going to continue to challenge us, and we know what the challenges are going to be, we can recognize it, we can harness it, we can grow through it, and we can transform with it instead of fighting against it. It is so important. It is so important. It's important to me, but it's important to the collective. And I can feel that. All right. I am going to cut it here, and we are going to move on to the energy readings for the elements. Again, it will be in the order in which the houses go traditionally. So we'll go fire, earth, air, and water. The timestamps will be in the description box below. And I want to say thank you again, you guys, for being here and for hearing these messages and for sitting with me and enduring all of this. You guys, you fill me up every time I get feedback from you, and I know that I have brought a message that you needed to hear, that you have been looking for, that you didn't even know that you needed to hear. It fills me with gratitude, so thank you. All right, guys, I love you all. I will see you at your signs. Hello, fire signs. How are you guys? All right, we are not going to waste any time here, okay? I have 2 tarot decks. So this first one, we're going to get cards on the new moon. Spirit, can we get, what is this new moon bringing in for fire signs? What do fire signs need to be aware of with this new moon? Oh, that's a lot of cards flipping. All right. Fire signs, have you been in your head about choices that you have made? Things that you have been unsure of? Okay. Things that have been kind of swirling around like, is this right for me? Did I do the right thing? Did I make the right choice? Am I choosing the right thing? There's that energy here of that's what is being highlighted as needing to go. All right. And with this deck, we're going to see what this partial solar eclipse in Taurus is bringing for you. And this deck here it's just one of those Rider-Waite Tarot card decks. I think it's Cocoa and Spot and Cocoa. And I found it on Amazon, and I am so in love with it. And it's one of those where I'm like, why am I so in love with this? It's something about the way that it's printed, the different way of the coloring. It's so beautiful. I love it. All right. So let's find out what the solar eclipse is bringing in for my fire signs. Okay. 1, got 2. Spirit, can we get one more? 3. All right. All right. Somebody watching Matthew McConaughey? Or is somebody watching Gabriel Iglesias doing his impression of Matthew McConaughey? Because that's funny. I don't know. I heard Fluffy in my head. Such a funny comedian. I absolutely love him and his stories. He always makes me laugh. And sometimes we can get too caught up in the seriousness of life and just need to laugh. So let's find out first the new moon. The Moon. The Justice card. Oh, we've got some major arcana. And the Empress. We have major arcana. And now let's look at the Eclipse. The Death card. Holy cow. Fire signs. The Lovers card. And the Eight of Pentacles. Whoa. Okay. So remember how I talked about, if you didn't catch my intro, if you chose not to watch the intro, please go back and watch it, because this is exactly what I'm saying here. All of these major arcana cards are major spiritual lessons, major life lessons. And in that sense, the whole intro when we were talking about, or the energy update when we were talking about the eclipse and the new moon and the black moon, it was all about that octile lesson energy. These are your hidden lessons. And even just starting off with the moon, it's literally the lesson of what's hidden within the depths of you, but also tempering and balancing out your inner and your outer world, your animalistic nature and your domesticated nature. Like, it's a wolf and a dog. So you look at it that way. You've got your wild side, your adventurous side, and your grounded and practical side. And it's literally about bringing those into like this creative, fertile balance. There's the moon, the Justice, the Empress card, this new moon, this new black moon is really saying it, all of the things from deep within you, you're now bringing into balance. There is this divine energy to it that is balancing it out for your own truth and beauty. And we've got Libra and Venus and Pisces. Seriously, like, we've got all these major focus that are actually occurring. Not just occurring in the cards, but actually occurring right now. And in that sense, we can see we're being asked to really allow for ourselves to be true to us. Fire signs, this is about your own creative potency, potential, fertility, abundance, wealth, all of it. It's balancing it out. It's balancing it out by seeing that we are all light and dark. We are all equally shadow and light. We are equally human and divine. And when you do that, this moon is asking you to see the places in your life that are out of balance, to bring those into balance, to harness them, to bring them into a state of peace, of calm, of prosperity, of abundance, of fertility, of creativity, and of sovereignty. Balance within will balance without. And it is your sovereignty here that this moon is asking you to harness. So we also have, on the eclipse side, we have the Death, the Lovers, and the Eight of Pentacles. And automatically I go directly to the Eight of Pentacles, because this is not about love. This is about your divine masculine, your divine feminine. This is Scorpio. This is Gemini. This is Pluto. This is Mercury. It is balancing out and transforming, transmuting, and revolutionizing masculine and feminine, light and dark, inside and outside, above and below. For both of these things, it is really about that balance, that harmony. And the Lovers, again, is a card of choice. It's a card of decision. And like I said, the energy that I was first picking up was this, am I sure that this is the right thing? Is this really what I want to do? and questioning your decisions, questioning your choices. Now, this is saying the choices that you have made, when you stop questioning them, will literally bring a transformation. And the Eight of Pentacles has a man who is being meticulous about creating these pentacles. Each one is the exact same as the one before. He's being very meticulous about what he's creating. He's being very careful, very conscious, very aware, very present, because he is perfecting it. It is the card of mastery. In fact, I prefer the Eight of Pentacles to just about any other of the Pentacles cards, because it is the card of mastery. It's the card of detail. It's like Saturn energy to it. But it's the Eight of Pentacles to me is what happens when we work with Saturn instead of against Saturn. So we have 42 with chopwood. And chopwood literally talks about cleaning things up, organizing things, doing the work, doing the nitty-gritty details, just like I was talking about with this Eight of Pentacles card. It's learning how to know that we can do these things. 32 with here and now. That's what oh my gosh. Okay. Spirit is literally just like, yeah, you're good. We've got yang, so we've got masculine energy, like I said. This is balancing your masculine and your feminine. All right. So we have doing the work, being here, being right here, knowing that you're doing that. And 31 with Y. The Y card here is that octile energy that I talked about. And on the back, we've got the card 11 and by the book. So the by the book and Y. And if you look on the Y card, she's literally reaching for a book. This is the energy that is helping you see why you need to do certain things, why the details matter, why instant gratification is not the way that things are meant to go. It's not going to get you where you want to be. Because when we follow by the book and go in order with whatever it is that we think the book is supposed to be, it doesn't go that way. So it's time now with this Death card and the Lovers card to transform. We have Fate, and we have, what are you here? Release. And on this Release card, there's actually a frog. Let me get one more. Yeah. Destruction. That is that Death card. Another one? Okay. Okay. Yeah, like we've got an owl, a frog. Frogs are all about cleansing. But the yang and the destruction, there's tower energy coming through here. I know there isn't a tower card, but there is tower energy coming through. And we have reclaim. Yeah. Okay. On the back we have manifest. So this is about learning where to take back your power, learning where to take back the pieces of your life, learning where to allow things to fall apart, because destruction is not always a bad thing. Sometimes destruction for the sake of destruction is not always the best thing. But destruction for the sake of rebirth, regrowth, rebuilding in the right way, in the way that is true to us, in the way that is right for us, in the way that will allow us to move forward. Destruction in that sense is absolutely a beautiful thing. Now we're talking about asking why and trying to follow the rules and everything like that. There's something about this moon and the eclipse that's going to help teach you why doing everything that you've done is absolutely necessary, why you've gone through what you've gone through, why you have had to endure what you have had to endure, but also why it's taken this long for the positive aspects of your fate to be released to you. It's a release to you, not a release you need to do, is what I'm hearing. You know, I've never noticed this before, but on this release card, there's actually a full moon in the background. So there is a full moon coming up in May, mid-May or so, in Scorpio, which is the lunar eclipse. But there's something about this that whenever the last Aquarian full moon was, the full moon in Aquarius, it would have been last July, last August area, one of those two, because it would have fallen within Leo season. For you fire signs, you may want to go back and check and look through Leo season of last year's full moon to see what date that Aquarius full moon was on, because there's something about that was released that is now coming full circle with the eclipse for some reason. I'm not entirely sure what it is. I can't tell you guys. You're gonna know when you look it up, but that is what I'm picking up. Also, does somebody collect Fabergé eggs? Is that still a thing? I mean, they're beautiful, but there is something about inheritance and an egg. And like, I'm seeing a Fabergé egg on a mantelpiece above a fireplace. And there's a mirror up there. And so in the mirror, you can see, it's almost like there's two mirrors. But when you look up at the mantelpiece, you can see this line of Fabergé eggs all the way back in reflections. There's also a message in that about the reflected beauty and how extensive it can be. So when you have two mirrors that are facing each other and you put something in between, they're gonna reflect that one thing back towards each other. And so it almost looks like this long corridor of mirrors with this one thing in there. But it becomes not one but many. It becomes not one but many when you reflect your beauty into the outside world. It becomes not one but many. I can tell you that that's what I just heard. I can't tell you what that means. That's the joys of channeling. However, I will tell you guys, there is something here that is asking you to stop following the rules. Stop following the rules and start building. Stop following the guidelines and start drafting a new course. Drafting a new path. Path isn't the word I'm looking for. Like drafting a new document or blueprint, or I'm seeing house plans. I'm seeing I'm actually seeing people sitting in like a boardroom and discussing things. Somebody is getting heated, and then it's like somebody takes a stack of papers and rips it and says, that's it, we're done, we're back to the drawing board, Okay, this destruction energy is where I'm feeling this back to the drawing board. If you find yourself in a position where you need to rip something up or tear something up, or it's back to the drawing board, it didn't work, something like that. And again, please take this as it resonates, because this isn't for everyone, but there is something in it that that may be triggering you. And it's not about you having to destroy everything that you've built this time. There's something about the finer details. When we focus on the finer details, we see. When we focus on the grander scheme and the major things, we don't. And this is asking you to destroy. I apologize for hitting the mic. Asking you to create your own form of destruction, but not in a destructive way. Really? I just heard not in a destructive way. Oh, deconstruction. Deconstruction instead of destruction. This is something I've talked about at length multiple times. It's deconstruction. We want to take things down piece by piece because then we can see it. Now, when we take things down piece by piece, we learn the pieces. And then when we rebuild, we become the masters. So whatever has been destroyed is now being reclaimed. Whatever has been in waiting is now being released to be found. Okay. I gotta say, this is probably one of the most interesting channeling moments I've had in recent times. There were a lot of images. But fire signs. You guys have some massive energy coming in for you. Massive, massive energy. What I see is mastery. I see fertility. I see abundance. I see work, but I see play. I see the balance. And that is your fate. Your destiny is here and to be released. How it plays out, that's in your hands, babe. So, fire signs, thank you so much for being here. Thank you to my guides and to your guides for facilitating this connection and bringing forth these messages. Thank you to Spirit for always working through me in such a beautiful way and for really, helping me to be comfortable with sharing my gifts. I want to say thank you again to you guys for being here. If this resonated, please hit the like button, share it with your friends or your family, share it on social media. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell up in the corner so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. And down in the description box, you will find links to my books that are available on Amazon. I have 3 books that are out there: self-help, emotional self-help, self-help for abuse, and, help shift perspectives, new views, new everything. That my newest release, Something Spiritually Catchy, is 100% a bitch fest, but it is a cathartic bitch fest that is meant to empower you to learn how to use your throat chakra. And I am absolutely in love with the book. I not to toot my own horn, but beep beep, absolutely love the book. You will also find a link in my description box, and I am going to give a special discount. I'm going to do 75% until June 1st off of my Breaking Boundaries, Finding Freedom course. So don't miss out on this special. This 75% off is in honor of the eclipse and the new moon and helping people to make the changes that they need to make by giving them the resources and the tools to do so. If you're interested in donating to my channel, please go ahead and check the links in the description box. The links to donate are down at the bottom. They are not expected. They are always appreciated. And I want to say thank you so much to anyone and everyone who has donated. You guys are rock stars, and I love you all. So, fire signs, go kick ass. Go deconstruct. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you guys. Bye. Hello, Earth signs. So we're going to go ahead and get right into it. So I have 2 tarot decks out today that we're going to be working with. I apologize for having to move my microphone. I'm just repositioning. The first tarot deck, this one right here, which is the Essential Tarot deck, is going to give us a few cards on the new moon in Taurus. Okay. That one's to be on, and that one wants to come out. So the new moon in Taurus, which happens to be an earth sign. So this is going to be energy that feels very natural to you. Even if you don't have any Taurus placements, if you're an earth sign, sun, moon, rising, this is going to impact your personal your personal placements. I apologize. There is something here that I'm picking up, and I got that from both decks, and this deck is going to be about how the eclipse is going to impact you, what the eclipse is bringing into your life. There has been this kind of call for you to learn, and I don't even know necessarily whether it's this specific, but I'm hearing learn about Leo energy. I am a Leo moon and a Leo rising, but it's more so learning about nobility and chivalry and humility and being humble and being strong while also being compassionate. Learning how to observe the things within you that are occurring, and rather than trying to vilify yourself, seeing yourself as the tamer of the lion, the tamer of the beast. Some of you may be having some issues with anger or resentment, some hostility. I apologize. I had something there. Whether it's you experiencing these things or you're experiencing it from someone outside of yourself coming at you, and you're trying to sort out how to handle the situation. There's something about Leo energy that will help you. Something about this moon, you guys may have watched or feel like you should watch the fire sign. The fire pile. I just got to thinking, granted, Leo is a fire sign, but there was a card that came up in there that made me think about the Aquarius full moon. You may want to look at that. Just check that reading. There might be something in there for you. So let's take a look at what this full moon, or what this, full moon. There's something there. What this new moon is bringing into you. Also, you guys may want to look up the Leo full moon. That happened February 16th, I do believe, of this year. So we have the Death card. This is what the new moon is bringing. The Five of Pentacles. Whoa! Earth signs. And the Hierophant. Whoo, buddy. Wow. Okay. See the eclipse. We have the Nine of Wands. Whoa. The Tower card. And the Page of Cups. Oh my gosh, you guys. Holy Pete's. Okay. We're going to start with full moon. Oh my gosh, I keep doing that. The new moon. We're going to start with the new moon. So with this new moon, the number one thing is you're going to be stepping into a leadership position. I'm feeling like massive financial security. Massive levels of financial security. The Hierophant card is also known as the Pope traditionally. And the Pope is the leader of the church. The leader of the Catholic Church. But this is about the spiritual leader. Now, I'm hearing keys to the kingdom. You are the leader. You have it all. And the Five of Pentacles that I'm seeing here, usually the Five of Pentacles is like being out in the cold. But because the Death card came first, we're looking at literally a rebirth of this feeling that you've been in the cold and you've been locked out and you've been ignored, and that the world isn't seeing you and the world doesn't care. This is literally a massive transformation of that for you to step into a leadership role. This is serious divine masculine energy, but balanced, healthy, whole divine masculine energy. So this new moon in Taurus is absolutely revolutionizing your finances. And okay. The Hierophant is Taurian energy. It is Taurus, which means that this energy is very, very, very strong. You're also working with Pluto here because we've got the Death card, which is Scorpio, ruled by Pluto. Pluto is in Capricorn, so you've got a trine energy between these two. I do believe. Something like that. Trine or sextile energy between these two. And so they're flowing together to really transform your finances and your abundance. But you have to set this intention. This is not going to be and I say this very bluntly because this is what I'm feeling. It's not going to be suddenly there's a check in your mailbox that you didn't know anything about. This is like something that you have done, something that you have been working on, something that you have enacted, something that you have embraced, something. It's going to be different for each one of you, but there was an action taken. There was a focused, directed intent and purposeful action taken that is leading to this massive transformation where you are going to be the actual financial leader and stable financial founder of your life. I just heard financial founder, so you may literally be founding something, like founding a company, founding a charity organization. This feels big. Like, this feels really, really, really big. Do I know what it is? Absolutely not. It's above my pay grade. I just heard it's above your pay grade in my head. Thanks, Spirit. Okay, now let's talk about this eclipse, because the reason why I picked up that you guys might be tied to the fire energy, and it's true, I very much feel like you guys are tied to this fire energy. With the fire energy, I was picking up the Tower card, but it never fell. Now I see the Tower card, but see, this Tower card, literally, like, your two middle cards could be the worst things that one could perceive. But it's so, so beautiful. Because in this one, you have the Death card, and it is transformational. And in this one, you have the Nine of Wands. And with this Nine of Wands, the Nine of Wands is like the wounded warrior, but it's the guy who has battled the hardest and kept going and lived for his passions and lived for his dreams and lived for his goals. And he has built up all of these wands. He has gone and done the damn thing, and he has built up all these wands, and he's exhausted and he's tired and he's clearly beaten down. He's bandaged up and he just looks exhausted. But that is the point that we hit right before the tower falls. And it's not a tower of, well, I've just built all of this, it's all going to fall down and everything is going to crash. No, because it's followed by the Page of Cups, which to me, this is absolutely saying, you have been doing all the damn work. You have been doing it. You have been taking action. This was not an easy thing for you. This was not an easy journey. This was something, whatever it was something that you fought tooth and nail to make happen in this world. And this eclipse, this new moon and this eclipse is taking all of that wounded warrior energy that you have put out into whatever form in the world for the positive, for the better, and it's going to literally transform it into a dream come true that is so fantastical that it's going to be like a random fish popping out of your cup. Now, again, I don't like giving these messages. I love giving these messages, and I don't like giving them at the same time, because I don't do false hope. I don't do false promises. So I'm not promising you anything, but I'm telling you what I see in the cards here is something huge shifting and transforming. But because we have the Hierophant and we have Taurus energy, Taurus is not a quick moving energy unless you piss it off. If you think about running with the bulls in Pamplona, when you're running with the bulls in Pamplona, you have to piss off the bulls. Whoa, I just, my ears just started ringing way more high-pitched. Are some of you from Pamplona? Have you run with the bulls? Have I said this to you before? I feel like I might have said this to you before. That's so weird. Maybe I'm having deja vu. But Taurian energy doesn't always move the fastest. It's very much Knight of Pentacles energy that I feel right now. So this is where you must trust. This is where you must trust. This is a confirmation for you. You have felt a change in the air. You have felt a change in the wind. You have known it. You have seen it. You have understood it. You have worked. You have fought. You have tried. You have kept going. You've come close to quitting and then chose not to. But this right here is your confirmation that you have been asking for. You've been asking for confirmation for years. I just heard decades. I just heard years. I just heard 3 years. 3 years, 2 months, 4 days. Weirdly specific. Weirdly specific. Those may be separate times for some of you, though. Like, you may have been asking for 2 days. Like, if that's the case, what's your secret? Would you do? Because if you've only been asking for 2 days and Spirit is coming in this hot and this strong, whoa. Okay, so this is your confirmation. Take it to the bank. Run with it. Claim it. Know it. Feel it. Understand it. You have done it. And this means as above, so below. As within, so without. There is time. It will come. Do not worry. Do not toil. Do not worry is just over and over and over again. We've got 44 and the Thinker on the back of the card. This, I think, is why... this is why I'm hearing, do not worry, do not toil, do not worry, do not worry. You guys are overthinkers. You overanalyze, you over everything right now. Because you want this to be true. You absolutely want this to be true. Some of you are also trying to go, well, what was it that I did? What did I change? What was the specific thing? There wasn't any specific thing. It was literally everything. So we've got 33 in chaos and conflict. Look at you guys with the repeating numbers. 23 with peace. So we've got 5, 5, 5, 4, 44, 33, 9, and 7. Wow. We've got 5 with orphaned, 5. So much change here, guys. So much change. And then 3 between worlds. 3s and 5s. Those are your power numbers right now. Those are your power numbers. Okay, so with the eclipse, you have been through the chaos. You have been through the conflict. You have been through the discord and dis-ease. And you here, okay. If you look at this chaos and conflict card, it's a zebra. And the zebra is shedding its outside face or mask. It's shedding its outside skin, which looks like a giraffe. But a zebra could never be a giraffe, and a giraffe could never be a zebra. So this is about the chaos and conflict of what happens when we wear a mask. And now you're coming forward with your truest self. And that is so peaceful. That is the energy of, I did it. I am me. I embrace it. I apologize. This has been happening to me the past couple of weeks. I've been yawning every time I channel. It's a new kind of energy indicator for me. It's very interesting. So this orphaned card, I don't feel like this is a literal orphaned energy. Some of you may have realized that you have been parenting yourself most of your life. And that realization, that understanding came with a cost. That understanding that I really did do this. I really had to be this person. I never really got this in my life. I never really experienced this thing in my life. Like I never had the comfort and the guidance and the love that I was searching for. I always felt as though I was unworthy. I always felt as though I was unlovable. You're starting to shift out of that. And this energy right here for the eclipse is why I'm telling you that it's not going to happen just automatically. But Spirit did want to bring peace to all of the conflict in your life. Because you've been through the mill and you've done what you needed to do. This orphaned energy is nothing to mess with. It's not something that you take lightly. And it's not something that just happens willy-nilly to heal. It's something that you have to make conscious choices and conscious decisions to say, okay, I forgive this situation, I forgive this person, I forgive this event. And you right now, this eclipse is bringing you to between two worlds. You are shifting into a state of more happiness, more joy, more abundance, more light, more possibilities. You're shifting from the Nine of Wands into the Page of Cups. So you're shifting from the wounded warrior where you are on guard all the time to everything is possible and anything is possible because my dreams just came true, which means that everyone's dreams can come true. That's a beautiful thing. But you're still in between one place and the other. And that can be very, very, very uncomfortable. On the back, we have the Sage. The Thinker and the Sage together, that to me is you realizing your own inner brilliance, your own inner knowing. It's knowing when to think and knowing when to go into the nothing box. And I'll explain that. So my husband talks about how he has a nothing box in his head. And there's a comedian who does a skit on it. I can't remember his name. Babe, if you're watching, I apologize. But my husband talks about going into his nothing box, and I don't have a nothing box in my brain. My brain just goes. It does not ever do nothing. It's like, what can I do now? What should I do now? What am I thinking about? What can I learn? What can I do? That's my brain. It's like, you know those 80s and 90s commercials, like, here's your brain on drugs. It's like, here's your brain on ADHD and anxiety. That's just my brain. It moves at like quantum levels. It's ridiculous. Very tiring. Anyway, there's something about you learning how to go into a nothing box in your mind and learning how to find the sense of peace and calm from the chaos that keeps flooding through your head. Because right now, things are moving way slower than you thought they would, but they're still coming. Your dreams are still coming. They're still possible. You're literally shifting from pessimism to optimism, from realist to idealist, from hurt to empowering. This shift is no small thing. The shift is no small thing. So let's take a look at your last oracle cards. We have the Pillar. Absolutely. The Seeker. That makes sense. Take risk. And the Void. I knew it. Okay, so the Between Worlds and the Void together are exactly perfect. You are in a void space. The eclipse is helping bring you into the void space because of something that you took a risk on. And what that was trusting in what you've been doing. Trusting in what you've been seeking within yourself. The Seeker card is like, okay, so it almost looks really gross because it's two hands out. And I apologize if you guys can hear my dogs barking. They're outside right now and they get kind of rambunctious with neighbors dogs. But the hands are holding them, they're holding out for teeth to fall. But the thing that this makes me think about is the show Bones. And the secrets and the wisdom that are hidden in our bones, in our bloodstream, in our genetics, in our DNA, in the things that our bodies say. You're learning that you have this wisdom literally written all over you. No matter what. And so you took this massive risk. You took this massive risk because you wanted to change everything. And what you did was you literally did this by building on a firm foundation. You went like to the extremes. This energy feels so different, but it's two events in the same day. Look how much can change in just one day's time when you harness it. Because the eclipse comes afterwards, whatever it is that you choose to manifest here, whatever risk you choose to take, whatever step you choose to take, is going to set you up as a pillar of ancient knowledge and ancient wisdom. And you're going to feel this for a bit afterwards. Sit with this energy, because in the void space is where everything... Take that as your confirmation, me yawning. It's where everything is created. Everything gets created in the void space. You were created in a void space. I was created in a void space. This world is created in a void space. In fact, the world is surrounded by a double bubble, and in that secondary bubble is literally it's called a void. It's a massive void space, and in that void space is where all the new stars are born. Which means that what is beautiful and brilliant and illuminating in the sky that we look at, that we admire, that we use as guidance, was born in a void space. You and your dreams are being born in a void space. Because you took the chance, took the risk, jumped, you leaped, and peace is here for you. Because you have been through it, babe. You have been through it, and you don't need to keep doing it. It's time for you to have your dreams and your wishes and your goals and your happiness. It's time now. All right, Earth signs, what a powerful, powerful reading. What powerful energy. I'm so impressed. Thank you so much for being here. If this video resonated, please like the video, share it, comment down in the description box. Let me know what you're manifesting during this moon phase. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I want to say thank you again so much for being here. Thank you to my guides, to your guides. Sorry, guys. To Spirit. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you for facilitating this connection and helping me with my gifts so that I can bring them forth to the world. It always fills me with such gratitude and purpose. So thank you, Spirit. And thank you, Earth signs. Down in the description box, you will find links to my books, including Something Spiritually Catchy, which is a detailed, in-depth look into the spiritual journey itself. This is the one I've been talking about for a while. It's called A Bitch Fest. There's also going to be a 75% off link for now until June 1st. It covers the eclipse season for my program, Breaking Boundaries, Finding Freedom. Feel free to go to the link in the description box. This 75% off coupon is specific to those who watch my YouTube channel, and it is designed for you guys so that during this eclipse you can use the tools and the techniques and harness that for your growth. There's also links down in the description box if you are interested in donating to my channel. Feel free to check them out. I want to say thank you to everybody who has donated and who donates on a regular basis. Like, you guys are the rock stars. You guys are just, you fill my soul, you fill my heart, and I am so grateful for you all. So thank you, thank you, thank you. if you do donate and you want a personal shout out, include your name and I will absolutely shout you out. All right. Thank you again, Earth signs. I love you all. Bye. Hello, air signs. So we're going to jump right in. I have 2 different tarot decks, and for each deck we're going to look at the different aspects of the moon. This first one is about the new moon in Taurus. Okay. So we have the new moon in Taurus during this one. And then this second deck is the partial solar eclipse in Taurus. Wow, you had them just want to jump right out. Okay. Earth signs, get out of your head. And then I just heard, but I'm an air sign. Did I say earth signs? I think I might have said earth signs. I definitely meant air signs. Oh. It seems as though this particular moon is so deeply collective that all the signs are connected to each other. But definitely for you guys, there is something that you're in your head about. You're in your head about some old issues, some old hurts, some old pains. Here, what I'm getting here is this is the opportunity for you to get out of it. It's the chance for you to stop this thought process, whatever this thought process is for each one of you, and it's going to be different. This is your opportunity. This is your chance. You can set this intention. You can sit down with spirit and you can say, here's what I want. Here's what I want to release. This is what I want out of my energy field. This is what I no longer want to focus my energy on. Please help me. Please guide me. Please lead me to releasing this. So let's take a look at the new moon in Taurus first. So we have the 7 of Pentacles, the 6 of Cups, okay, and the Queen of Cups. Okay, see, this is the Queen of Cups, first of all. She's deeply psychic, but she is incredibly in touch with her emotions. She knows to fill herself up first. So you may have been thinking about all the work that you have done in the recent past and all throughout your life, all the things that you have grown and built and worked at and worked on for your life, for your growth, for your emotional growth. And as you can see, I love this 6 of Cups card because you can literally see the progression of the flower going from a closed bud to blossoming. So one big factor to this Taurus new moon is for you to genuinely see the growth. You are genuinely going to see the growth, but you also are being called to genuinely look at your own personal growth. Look at the lessons that you have learned, the ways that you've learned to set boundaries, the ways that you have learned to take care of yourself, to fill your own cup, to drink enough water, to get enough sleep. Look at every small step. When we go through hard times, when we go through situations that make us scared or sad or anxiety ridden, when we're going over and over and over and over again in our mind all the things that have hurt us, we're not able to fully see the emotional growth that we've gone through. So this new moon is giving you a chance to sit with yourself and sit with your growth and really reflect on the past and really look back and see that and get out of your head and into your heart. So let's see what the eclipse is bringing in. We have, wow, that's beautiful. The Empress, the 8 of Pentacles, and the Ten of Swords. That is amazing. Okay, so the Ten of Swords is obviously going to be the focal point, but this is what I've been talking about. You've been in your head about all the things that have gone wrong and everything that has hurt you, but this is Eclipse is helping end that cycle. It's helping you understand your own values, your own self-worth, the mastery of yourself that you have done. And that was picked up with this new moon. So you really do have this beautiful progression between the two. And this, your energy is a lot different than the earth energy and the fire energy, because this is a clear progression. You go from the Seven of Pentacles and the Six of Cups to the Queen of Cups and the Eight of Pentacles. The Empress and the Ten of Swords are literally saying that once you sit in your sovereign power, once you know your truth and who you are and what your worth is, this time that led you to feeling deceived, depressed, downtrodden, hurt, damaged, betrayed, abandoned, attacked, overlooked, overseen, all of that is ending here. All of that is ending. And you know something I'm noticing? I just pulled the No Place Like Home, which is 50 reduces to a 5, and Message in a Bottle, which is 15, which reduces to a 6. So we've got 2 6s here for you. Flexible, number 19, that's 10 and 1. So we've got 2 10s on the board too. So this is definitely learning how to change. But one thing that I'm noticing is this is about you learning how to speak your truth and be empowered. And then we've got New Life, 39, which reduces to a 12 and to a 3. And on the back of the deck, we have the card number 5 with Orphaned. And that to me is this Ten of Swords energy. That's the past, the way that things have been. But if you look at the colors here, all of this here, this is your throat chakra. Your throat chakra. And then there's so much yellow on this side that it's your solar plexus chakra. So I'm seeing 2 different chakras being activated, updated, elevated, renewed, restored. And each one of them is surrounded, and I don't know if you've been on my channel for a while, some of this energy feels very, very new to me. But I talk about bookends with readings. And these 2 cards feel like bookends. And they both have third eye and crown chakra vibes. And so what I'm seeing here is literally you're learning how to hear spirit, to speak spirit, to be empowered with your journey with spirit, with yourself, with your guides. And that doesn't mean that you're going to be a reader. Some of you may be. But the Empress is all about fertility and creation in the physical realm. She's here to bring beauty, but she does that by being sovereign, by being herself, by being true to her. The Queen of Cups and the Empress together says that you have your emotions grounded, controlled. You're aware of them. You're enlightened, is what I just heard. You are enlightened. All right. Air signs. We have compassion on the back, which does not surprise me because it's literally... Didn't I say that to you guys? Learning how to have compassion for yourself. I may have said that or thought it, but... This is literally having compassion, understanding that everybody is on their own journey, and that means you too. And it's okay to forgive yourself, but it's okay to be compassionate towards yourself and towards others. And in a big way, this is learning that it's okay for you to speak your truth. It's okay for you to be empowered, because the times in which you have been hurt the most have led you into a sense of mastery of yourself. So we have boundaries. What did I say? I literally said you learned how to put boundaries down. Wow. Fate. We have the card Fate here. Oh, I love Fate with new life. And then bridging them together, we have Sacred Sexuality and Ancestors. Okay, so this is literally, this is your sacral chakra, which is your emotional chakra as well. And I didn't pick that up, but it does not surprise me because the sacral chakra is the water chakra. And honestly, it was coming in when I was preparing for this reading, but I was doing chores and, you know, just kind of letting the energy flow into me while I was doing my own thing. And I really got to thinking about the sacral chakra and how the sacral chakra is considered the water chakra. And then about how we identify ourselves as, like, I'm a sun, I'm a moon, I'm a rising. So for me, like, I'm a Leo moon, Leo rising, and a Cancer sun in tropical, and in sidereal I am a Gemini sun, Cancer rising, and a Leo moon. But in my progressed chart, I'm a Virgo rising. And so I got to thinking, like, if I look at every single chart, all the elements have a place in my life. All of them play out in my life, in my energy, in my personality. And I can identify each and every one of these places, placements, or anything like that in how I behave and how I act. And so we think that we need to separate, but a lot of the times we are all equally one. And our ancestors actually knew that. They knew how deeply connected we all were. And I'm looking at this ancestor card, and it's like a tree. And, you know, you think about a family tree. A family tree is always drawn outward. But that doesn't negate the fact that there are roots. So the roots are what we are able to focus on really in our day-to-day life. How rooted, how grounded are you? But this is also about knowing that the roots of anything live the longest. Unless you remove something by the roots of something, of anything, live the longest. Sacred sexuality is owning your own sexuality, owning your own provocation and worthiness in a sexual sense, but in a sensual sense as well. And to me, this card is 100% about your sacral chakra and your solar plexus chakra, your self-worth, your self-value. It's about knowing that you are worthy of love and dedication, but knowing that I could pull the book, but there's something about this that just feels different for your pile. But the sacred sexuality card really, to me, it's saying that you're learning how to own who you are. And some of you may identify yourself as male. I try not to mess with gender identity stuff. I know how fluid it can be, and I have a daughter who is one way or the other and has a lot of friends who are, you know, transgender or any of the titles. And the way that I always approach it is, you're still a human being and you're still worthy of love, and so what's your name and welcome to my home kind of thing. You don't need to put yourself into a box. You don't need to put yourself into a label anymore. And that is that deep sacred sexuality. But it is also about knowing the divine masculine and the divine feminine together. I did end up pulling the book, so I'm going to read it for you. Our sexual self and sexual energy is such a layered and potent part of who we are. It can show us our wounds. It can provide healing. It can help us manifest, it can teach us boundaries, and can fuel and empower us. Sacred sexuality does not mean that your sexual presence or expression needs to look a certain way. It simply means that your sexuality is sacred as it is. It is a core part of your humanity as well as your spiritual and universal self. This card asks you to examine your relationship to your sexual self. Is there anything that needs tending to? Is there anything that needs healing or releasing? And the healing and the releasing is what we've been talking about with this moon phase. There is a level of, with the eclipse, there is a banishment, and usually releases and cleansing and banishment stuff, that is usually tied to a full moon. But in this case, because there is a solar eclipse, this new moon is more deeply inured in that same energy. But this is about knowing your worth. Okay, when I was a kid, and I do mean a kid, like very young, I was sexually assaulted. And I created a complex within myself in which my worth was based off of my physical body, what I could give to a man on a sexual sense. And because that was how I viewed myself, I attracted those kind of people into my life. The people that weren't going to value me for me, but would value me for my body. And then I stopped taking care of my body because the people that I was with wouldn't give me actual love. It was just a requirement. I had to learn these boundaries. I had to learn about how sexuality can be a good thing, how it doesn't have to be a traumatic thing. I had to learn these things. The reason why I'm sharing this with you is because sometimes we learn the wrong things when we're kids. Sometimes our experiences can teach us the wrong things, the wrong way of being, the wrong way of perceiving ourselves. And it's up to us to choose a different path, to choose to grow outside of that. Your ancestors don't want you tied to that anymore. They want you to know that it's okay to put boundaries down. It doesn't make you harsh or cruel or weak. It means that this is what is right for me and this is what is wrong for me, but it's okay to harness your sexual energy. It's okay to be a sexual being. Caveat to that, if you are under 18, this does not apply to you. Please consult your parents and not me. And I will tell you, as a parent of an 18-year-old, I was a teenage mom. I don't think that anybody needs to be a teenage mom. I really don't. It's more than what you think you're bargaining for. Anybody who's over 18, though, this is for you. This sacred sexuality, knowing that you have this sexual energy and knowing that you are worthy of having the sexual energy. Also, knowing that when you fuel that sexual energy, when you feed it and you treat it with love and admiration and honor it, it also fuels your creativity. And that feels very important to you. This pile in particular, creativity feels crucial. But it's time as well for you to learn how to speak your truth. This new moon in Taurus feels very much as though it is going to be an emotional roller coaster. But you are prepared for that. You are prepared for that. And because you're prepared for that, the eclipse that comes afterwards is the perfect time for you to say, I am ready for my fated life. I am ready for my destined life. I am ready for a new life. I have been flexible. I have changed. I have shifted. I have grown. I have learned how to whatever, fill in the blank. And now I know my worth. I am ready for this. Can we work together, please? And the universe will respond in kind. It always does. Air signs, I don't see or hear anything else. This went a totally different direction than I thought it would. But I want to say thank you so much for being here and for who you are. And know that you are worthy of love and amazing things. So, air signs, thank you again. Thank you to your guides and to my guides for helping facilitate this connection and bringing forth these messages. Thank you so much, Spirit, for always being beside me, always being within me, always being all around me and all around all of us and guiding us every step of the way of this journey that is never easy. If this video resonated, please hit the like button, share it, comment, interact. I love hearing it. It fuels me. It brings me joy. It brings me a sense of peace and accomplishment. So if you want to help me out, that would be great. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell up in the corner so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Down in the description box, there are links to my books on Amazon, including my newest book, Something Spiritually Catchy, which is literally about how difficult the spiritual journey is. It is a bitch fest and a half, but it is also about the duplicity of humanity and how we can overcome it. It's a very powerful book, very emotional, very intense, but also funny and kind of glib and angry. So if you like that kind of thing, check it out. I also am going to be running a 75% off discount to my program, Breaking Boundaries, Finding Freedom, for my YouTube subscribers and viewers only. And that will run until June 1st is when that will expire. So please take advantage while the 75% off for the Eclipse season this spring runs, because this program would be great for you. If you are interested in donating, please see the donation links down in the description box below. And I want to say thank you for all those who donate. You guys are awesome. You're my rock stars. And I appreciate you so, so much. So air signs, thank you, thank you, thank you again for being here. I love you all. I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, water signs. So we're going to jump right in. This first deck is all about the new moon in Taurus. So we're going to get some cards on what this new moon in Taurus is bringing to you guys. First thing, have you guys been having a lot of trouble sleeping? Or sleeping a lot during the day? Have you been having a lot of visions? A lot of psychic gifts coming online? A lot of changes with your gifts and your emotions and your energy? When I was preparing myself for your pile, I had to literally go and take a nap. It was overwhelming, overpowering, and I had a very, very, very vivid dream. And here we've got the Queen of Cups, and I haven't been pulling the back of the deck energy for these. But something tells me we should. And the Three of Cups. Okay. This first deck is for the full moon. Oh my gosh. The new moon in Taurus. I'm sorry. I've been doing that all day. The new moon in Taurus, and this is for the solar eclipse. Something's up with your guys' energy. It's much different than it normally is. And you know, for my water signs, I usually am pretty much loving your energy all the time, but something's changing in your energy field. Not that it's a bad thing. It can be a little discombobulating, disconcerting. A little, yeah, I don't feel very grounded right now. There's a bit going on in your energy field. Take some salt baths. Take some salt baths. There's something changing in your energy field. I don't think that it's a bad thing. It doesn't feel like a bad thing. Especially with the Queen of Cups and the Three of Cups on the back. It just feels a little like off kilter. So let's take a look and see what the new moon in Taurus has. So we've got the Four of Cups, okay, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands. Oh. 414. Door number, house number, time on a phone, date 414. Something of 414 is significant for someone. But what I'm seeing here is the Four of Cups. I'll always say the Four of Cups is the saddest card in the deck. It's the saddest card in the deck. Because in traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, there's a man sitting underneath and the universe is offering this cup and there's 3 cups in front of him. Every time I look at it, I always see these 3 cups as spilled. I don't know why, because they're not actually spilled on the cards, but that's just how I see it in my clairvoyance. And it's literally about, like, I have built this up and I have done all of this for so long and I've poured everything I had into these 3 cups and it didn't work out. And I don't even have the willpower to look at an offering, to look at something else, to look at something different, to look at some possibility of hope and happiness. I just don't have it in me. But in this case, the cups are literally raining down onto the earth. So whatever it is that you've built, your 3 things, whatever it is, it's now raining down onto the earth. And this 4th cup that is being offered is literally the sun in your life. And it's all to do with your finances. There's happiness, joyfulness, everything that I see here. But it has everything to do with knowing when it was the right time, knowing when it was the right thing, knowing when it was just you somehow knew and did. That's all I got. And then we've got the eclipse. I'm so sorry, you guys. I have not felt this ungrounded. I felt like this when I did my third eye chakra reading. But otherwise, I haven't felt this ungrounded for quite a while. And it is literally just touching your guys' energy. You may want to get some grounding crystals. So you have the 6 of Pentacles, the Justice card, and the 8 of Cups. Okay, so the eclipse is asking you to stop trying to be the harbinger of justice. And I'm calling myself out on this one. But the 8 of Cups is not, to me, again, it's not the card that says I'm walking away. And you know what? There's actually an eclipse going on this card. It's not about walking away and abandoning the cups. The person on the cup card is going off to find their 9th cup. And the 9th cup is all about wishes come true, which means that you have done everything. You've done everything. And you are now looking for balance and harmony and peace and prosperity and happiness and joy and love. And that is what this whole moon cycle is bringing in for you. It's literally sending you on the journey for your 9th cup. We have the card 22, Blessed, and the card 10 with Unfinished Symphony. Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is just supporting it more. Then we've got 19 with Flexible and 44 with Thinker. And on the back, we have 52 with Mending. Okay. Water signs, why are you guys... You guys are always so great. You're so amazing. This is just like the constant all the time. I don't have much to say to you guys. It's like, okay, the thing that I want to say with Blessed and Unfinished Symphony is sometimes the things that feel unfinished, the things that feel incomplete are the biggest blessings in our life. Because even if they feel like they're incomplete or they're just not up to par or whatever, those are our perfectionist tendencies. And perfectionist tendencies can get really, really destructive because we don't actually engage in the truest nature of who we are. We just want to make sure that we are appealing and appeasing to everybody else. Now, on the other side, we have this 6 of Pentacles, Justice card, 8 of Cups, Flexible, Thinker. You want your 9th cup. You want your dreams come true. You want your hope, your dreams, your everything. We have Ask Body on the back. You want all of that. And you've been asking the universe, like, can we balance out the scales here? Can we balance this shit out? No. You took care of you. Did any of you guys catch my short? I actually, I made it into a TikTok. Or I had made it a TikTok originally and then made it into a short. But I talk about how I had embraced all of these different things and everything fell apart around me. But I didn't realize that it was because I needed to embrace myself. I needed to embrace my gifts. Like, I needed to embrace this aspect of who I am. Because I wasn't. I was running from this. I would do my own personal readings and I'd play around with it here and there with friends, but I ran from it continually because I was afraid of embracing being psychic. I had a lot of religious trauma. It was a lot of fearful things. But one of the biggest blessings that I find is having walked away from certain situations in the middle of them. I just started getting to know people and I realized while I was getting to know them that they were toxic for me, so I walked away. I started a YouTube channel where I was doing spiritual teaching and trying to teach lessons, and it wasn't right for me, but I tried to put myself into that position and into that role, and it was always this scheming, like, what can I do? What can be edgy? What can blah, 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 blah. And that was my thought process the whole time, all the time. And it was not true to me at all. I had no direction, no sense of purpose, no sense of anything. And I walked away from it after 6 months or so. I walked away from it. It was tremendously unfinished. It was unfinished, but you know what? It was one of the biggest blessings because when I did that channel, I learned different tools, different techniques, different ways of editing, of videoing, of how to do anything and everything, which FYI, if you can hear the sound in the background, I came out of my meditation this morning and I was freezing cold and shaking, and that happens sometimes for me. I actually talk about it, I think, in my third eye video. And I needed to turn my heater on. So I apologize if you can hear that in the background, if that noise is too much, but I really did genuinely need the heat in the background because I'm freezing. My toes are ice. Anyway, the unfinished symphony. I learned so much on that journey, but I wouldn't have if I hadn't gone down that road. I wanted to make this tarot channel, and I tried to make it back in March of 2021. And every time I'd go to video, I'd be so scared and so insecure and so self-conscious that something would go wrong with my technology. And now I feel assured because I know that what I'm doing is something that makes me happy. I'm doing it for me, but I'm also bringing messages to the collective. It's very strange. And that seems to be my go-to saying for the week is it's just very weird. It's very strange because I'm not used to feeling this happy and I'm not used to feeling this fulfilled. But all I can do is think that every moment of a Four of Cups where everything fell apart, where everything felt unfinished, was literally the truest nature of my blessing because it taught me how to change it. It taught me how to think critically. It taught me how to fight and work and journey after that 9th cup. It taught me that for balance, I have to be true to me. So let's go here. The reason I'm sharing this is because it feels very much as though you need to remember all of this for yourself. So we have the Weaver, and I just realized you guys can barely see these cards, which doesn't surprise me. These are the Threads of Fate Shadow Oracle. So we've got the Weaver. I love that card. And then we've got Reclaim. Oh, I absolutely love the Weaver card. And then we have Share Wisdom. Ooh. Yes, yes, yes. I just heard Ducky. Yep, yep, yep. And then connect to heart. Okay. When we focus too much on one thing over the other, we can forget aspects of our life. That's a common thing. With this connect to heart, that's what I feel is the message for the eclipse. Connect to your heart. When you connect to your heart, that's your 9th cup. That's your 9th cup. Can you see how different the new moon in Taurus and the eclipse energy is, even though the eclipse is in Taurus and it comes directly afterwards and it's still tied to the moon? This is why I said there are hidden lessons in things, because we can harness this energy and look and be like, oh, it's so beautiful, it's so brilliant. But if we don't look at the other side, we're not going to see the full scope of what's going on. If you don't look into your shadows, you won't see the full scope of what's going on. You are the weaver of your destiny. You literally make your destiny what you want it to be. So if you want your destiny to be wrought with strife and challenges and hardships, it's going to be. If you want it to be something that is beautiful and brilliant, it will be. However you want it to be is how it will be, but you have to connect to your heart and know what you want. When you step into the role of the weaver of I make my own destiny, you literally take back all of your power. I have a tendency to have to sit down and be like, I summon back all the pieces of me that I have given to others. I summon back the pieces of me that I have unknowingly or knowingly given to others, because I have to pull back my energy. I have to pull back the cords. I have to cut the cords, and I have to pull back to me. And I have to take care of me. You need to do this here because you're the weaver of your destiny. Not your mom, not your dad, not your best friend, not your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your spouse, your significant other, nothing. Not even your dog. No. Not your cat either. Even though I say that my cat is the boss of me. No, Winifred is my boss. No, you are the weaver of your destiny. You want your destiny to look like this. You want it to be this smooth, beautiful, brilliant, I got it all figured out. I got it all figured out energy. You want it to be like this, where I'm in my heart space. I am flexible. I know my mind. I know my heart. I know my worth. I know balance. I know harmony. I know peace. I've seen justice. And I'm going to go and make my dreams come true. This is what you want, so claim it. Not even reclaim it, but claim it. Claim it. Claim it. It's literally right here saying, take me. Take me and shape me, mold me, weave me. I am your destiny. Take it. Take me and let me be me. Let me shine. Ask your body what it is that you need, because I promise you, you need water, because I am so parched right now. Water signs, you guys are awesome. You're always awesome. You really are. You're always just like on point. This moon wants you to see where balance and justice is. Wants you to see where magic is. See where you have flexed and where you shouldn't have. See where your brain goes one way and your heart goes another, and mend the fences between the two. Weave your destiny, honey. Weave your destiny. All right. Water signs. If this resonated, please hit the like button, share it, comment down in the comment box below. I would love to hear back from you guys. And of course, as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell in case so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. I told you guys, I am super ungrounded. My brain is just like all over the place. Down in the description box, there will be links to my books. Something Spiritually Catchy is out, and you can take my word for it. It would help you. It just would. You're not alone in the things that you've experienced and the things that you feel. That book will help you see that. I'm also going to be offering a 75% off discount to anybody who wants to take my course, Breaking Boundaries, Finding Freedom. It is a course to help you come back to yourself, help you return to the basics of asking who, what, when, where, why about yourself, about your life. Getting curious, getting in and inquiring about you to yourself, and growing, shedding the masks and becoming the truest version of you that lives for your dreams and for your purpose and for your goals. So that is going to be 75% off, and it's going to run until June 1st, so don't miss out on the special. It is an eclipse season special. There's also links to donate down in the description box down at the bottom. And I do want to say thank you so much to everybody who donates, because you guys fund this channel and you keep me going, and I am so ever so grateful. If you donate and you would like a personal shout out, let me know, include your name. I will be more than happy to do that. And I also wanted to say thank you so much to your guides and my guides for helping facilitate this connection. Thank you so much to Spirit for allowing me to sit here and share these messages with the collective that they need to hear, for being a mouthpiece for you. Water signs, thank you so much for being here and for being how absolutely incredibly amazing you always are. I am ever so grateful, so honored, so blessed to read for you and touch your energy. So thank you. I love you all. Bye.